pianists describe Clementi Sonatina in C major as easy. I disagree. Playing your hands together fast with lightness and evenness, keeping your left hand soft over the right hand singing melody, knowing when and how to use the pedal, and when to play legato versus detached. These are real challenges, and most tutorials don't cover them. In today's video, I will guide you through these challenges so that you know how to practice this piece and play it with an authentic classical style. Many editions have a lot of slur markings and guide pianists to play pretty much all the eighth notes legato. So for this whole section, it would be marked legato. And that fits because Clementi did compose this during the end of the classical period, and legato was common. A lot of pianists do choose to play this piece with a classical technique called purling. And this is when you play slightly detached so that the notes sound separated like a string of pearls. I personally like a combination approach. So I would play like this. Purling technique. Keep your fingers close to the keys. You can use just a slight brushing motion off of the keys. Not a big motion because that'll cause some tension, but the dynamics in the classical period should be noticeable but not extreme. Clementi put in some piano and forte markings throughout this first movement and one crescendo. So it's widely believed that he wanted pianists to experiment. You could do something a little different with the articulation and the dynamics on this section on the repeat. So the first time, and then the second time, the second movements of Clementi Sonatinas look simple, but they're actually pretty challenging to get the style right, create a beautiful tone, knowing how much pedal to use and the right pedal technique. I think Clementi would use a sustain pedal if he was playing on our modern pianos, and adding a little bit here and there makes this second movement really beautiful. If you do decide to use it, then I would only use a quarter pedal. So you would push the pedal only a quarter of the way down so it's very light and it doesn't blend the notes too much. So at the beginning, no pedal. I'm using my fingers to connect and create a legato. Then here I'm going to go down and then off for the termination. So on, off, then on. So I'm pushing it down for the repeated notes to soften them. Down, off. Then I push it down here to connect this repeated note. Then down, change, change, off. Change, 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 and then off. The left hand has some beautiful notes in this second movement. The right hand carries the melody, but we don't want to play the left hand too quietly in some of these places. So here, and then in this section, the left hand has what I would call a counter melody. So we want to voice these. I want to remind you that the left hand can easily overpower the right hand on places like this beginning where the left hand is repetitive. So this is another great place to work on that ghosting technique where you touch the keys but you don't make a sound. And then it's much easier to eventually learn to play lighter. The third movement is really fun. Clementi didn't mark in any slurs. He did mark some staccatos and dynamics, so that's helpful. For the 16th notes, I recommend playing legato as a general rule. So on this section, and then there's this recurring theme throughout the movement where you have these 2 16th notes and then 2 repeated 8th notes. So every time I see that throughout this movement, I play staccato on the 8th notes. So I would play the left hand broken chords legato so that you can keep them very soft and voice that right hand melody over them. This is challenging because the left hand notes are so much lower than the right hand. They come out louder. So we have to really work on playing that lightly. And so the legato touch really helps with that. This is another place where you could work on that ghosting technique. As you get comfortable with the notes in the right hand, start working on wrist motion and keeping this very loose in here. So watch how I move my wrist as I play the first 8 bars. So that helps me to stay really loose here and relaxed, and it helps me feel the pulse of the music. Also be careful of your technique on the scale passages. So I usually see students try to play these with their arms stuck to their side. So make sure that you bring your elbow out to support these weaker 4th and 5th fingers. This also helps you with crossing over. So when that elbow's out, it helps you make this smoother when you cross over. The other thing that really helps is the thumb. Stand up on your thumb. You don't want to have to come down for a flat thumb. That's going to slow you down and make it uneven. So keep your shoulders down and relaxed. That causes a lot of tension. So you're lifting your elbow, but you're staying relaxed here. Now, as you start to play faster, there won't be as much motion in your wrists and your elbow, but it should still be there. I'd like to mention that I've got a full course on this sonatina, and you'll get the sheet music with my fingering, pedaling, dynamics, and articulation markings. And I walk you through all 3 movements section by section so you know exactly how to practice this piece and play it the way Clementi intended. It's linked in the description below and also at BrillantePianoDuo.com. Let me know in the comments what you find most challenging about this Clementi sonatina. I'd love to hear from you, and I read every comment. If you enjoyed this lesson, check out this next one where I teach Sonatina in A minor by George Benda. This is one of my students' favorite intermediate level classical period pieces.